Dumont.
WABD Dumont in New York.
The Johns Hopkins Science Review, presented by the Johns Hopkins University and WAAM in Baltimore. This is the Johns Hopkins University, famed for 75 years for its contributions to science and the humanities. Here in its many laboratories, Hopkins scientists are constantly probing into the still unknown secrets of science, which, when discovered, will be translated into benefits to be enjoyed by you, the people of America. Each week, we look over the shoulders of today's scientists and catch a glimpse of the results of their research. This week, we see the work of the artist and the doctor. And here is Lynn Poole of the Johns Hopkins University to introduce this week's program.
Greetings. This, ladies and gentlemen, is part of the story of the medical artist and the medical illustrator. Men and women who are working behind the scenes day after day in the field of medical research and clinical work. It was particularly easy for us to bring you this program this week, particularly if we could tell it with the background of Max Bradel. Max Bradel was the originator of this new profession, and around the world, in Baltimore and in Paris, Max Bradel was affectionately known as Papa Bradel, a very great man. Next time that you hear of a piece of medical research, you know that behind this medical research, there is the medical artist who is working with his pen, working with his pencil, perhaps with clay, plaster, as you've seen here tonight in the building of these moulages. Or perhaps the medical illustrator is in the eye clinic, looking through a microscope, peering at the retina and the cornea of the eye, in order that patients may be helped, so the doctors may know the progress of disease from its first stage to its last stage. This is part of the work of the medical illustrator, which we tried to bring to you this week. Think of them the next time you hear of a great medical discovery. We're glad that you were with us, and we hope you'll be with us next week when the Johns Hopkins Science Review brings you a program about the tools of the trade.
Here are the instruments used by the engineer and the architect. Some of the tools with which homes, skyscrapers, and great industrial plants are designed. Here is the important tool of the bricklayer, the trowel with which the bricklayer lays brick upon brick to build strong homes and mighty factories. Scientists also use specific tools. What tools do the scientists use in their laboratories? Next week, we will wander through a number of scientific laboratories and see many of the tools of the scientific trade, as we watch the scientists using these tools as they carry on their scientific investigations. Scientific investigations which create benefits for each of us. Be with us next week when we explore tools of the trade. The Johns Hopkins Science Review is produced by Lynn Poole, directed by Paul Kane. Associate producer is Robert Fenwick. Associate director, Ed Sarrell. Art direction by Barry Mansfield. Your narrator was Ted Jaffe.
This is the Dumont Television Network. Now stay tuned for wrestling from Columbia.